Yo, what is up guys? Grim here, and today I wanted to just go over my overall thoughts about Incursion and how I feel about it. So let's get started. So to begin with, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the experience I had and other players had throughout the different points of the league. So in the early game, I myself decided not to interact with the new league mechanic to try and get to endgame fast as possible, but I've had other people say that it's excellent, and I think it's really cool that you can actually fight the Omnitech, build a temple, and kind of get some of the cool new items in the game early on in the league. And that's really where I felt Bestiary and even Abyss and some others leagues fell short. So that's a big tick there. Players who only want to play the campaign and stuff like that are going to have a blast with this league, just like everyone else. In terms of mid game, you're going to be getting a lot of cool new items and upgrades from the temple, a lot of currency and stuff like that. So when you're progressing your atlas, you're going to get that map room and all that juicy stuff, and it's going to really help you out with progressing your atlas and sustaining maps. So it's really good in the mid game as well. But where I feel this league really shines is the end game, which is kind of where I spend most of my time, and a lot of the other more veteran players do. So there's quite a few chase uniques in the temple right now. We have the Xerxes Amulet and the Soul Flask. These two items are worth around 10 exalts each and are very rare and come from the temple, giving it that extra wow factor. You can also get stuff like Headhunter and legacy kind of currency items like Harbinger and Horizon Orbs and even Ancient Orbs, which is absolutely fantastic. So this league covers its bases completely. I feel like it's a great success for GGG, and I've been having a blast with it so far, and I think I'm going to be sticking around this time for a lot longer than I normally do. It's really been holding my interest quite well. So yeah, it covers all its bases, early, mid, and end game. Everyone seems to be pretty happy. So in terms of the new players versus veteran players, I think everyone got exactly what they want. New players have something new to do in the leveling of the game and have something new to experience, and end game players obviously have something to grind, something to shoot for, and it's really fantastic for them. So, moving on to the next part of 3.3, it was the massive skill rework. So, they've done a pretty good job with this, although I feel like the numbers on some of the skills are a little bit off. All the mechanics feel pretty cool and work very well, but it does feel like we need a little bit more help on just the scaling and tuning of things. Some things like Varlark and Arc are pretty high tuning, which is actually pretty good in my opinion. It makes people actually want to play them. Same with Blade Vortex, it's tuned very, very highly, and Val Blade Vortex as well, which creates new builds. But some other skills like Rain of Arrows could have used a little bit more help, maybe on the single target or AoE department. Maybe adding a little bit more arrows to Rain of Arrows and maybe making 75% of the arrows heat seek instead of just 50 more would have made it feel a little bit better and be able to compete with Tornado Shot and the like even more. It's obviously not bad, and it's completely usable all the way up to T16 maps and beyond, but if it just had a little bit more help, we could have a real contender on our hands. So that's pretty nice. Obviously, we have other reworks, like Elemental Hit and stuff, which got reworked, which were looking very promising, but then they decided to pull back on the power level, which really hurt that skill. I think it could have been really fun. And then from what I've heard from my friends, the Trap rework is fantastic, and it's doing very well. So skill rework, big tick there. I'm very, very happy with how that turned out. Even though I haven't gotten a chance to use too many of the new skills, I've been using the new Blade Vortex here, and it's pretty exciting. So, the temple overall, I do have a few issues with it, but I'm going to give you my general overview of why I think it's good and how I've been running it. So, in general, it mixes up gameplay. Every map is going to be different. When you get in there, you've got to check, okay, so what rooms do I have to choose from here? Do I want to upgrade this one? Do I want to swap it for this other one? And you're going to have a lot of fun doing that. And on top of that, the mobs and like the rooms are actually very difficult. Like the chaos monsters, the architects have really interesting abilities. I really enjoy fighting them, even though it's a little bit difficult sometimes. But yeah, it's pretty fun. And even with like high level gear, you can't face roll it completely, which is fantastic. On top of that, the rewards are very, very generous. It gives you about a breach or more worth of loot every single incursion. A little less on the currency side, more on the unique and rare side, but that's fine. Uniques are pretty nice as well. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Rewards are great from the incursions themselves. They mixed up gameplay a lot. Really, really happy to see that that's how it worked out. And that's very good. So the temple, on the other hand, feels like it could use a bit of improvement. Navigation can be a little bit difficult sometimes. It's very dark in there, and there's a lot of walls, and it can be a little bit confusing. Maybe some like street lights to kind of show you where you've opened your doors would be helpful, as opposed to just having a bunch of dead ends. As On top of that, though, it is very, very good. The rewards a little bit lacking in a lot of cases, especially if you get bad RNG. There's only a few rooms which are actually worth visiting. I found a lot of the environmental rooms, like the poison plant chamber, the rejuvenation chamber, and stuff like that. If they're not at T3, you just want to completely ignore them and just move away. And even at T3, they don't offer too many good items. They generally give you a crafting base, which is not worth too much currently in Trade League. So generally, we've been skipping those. So the temple pretty much boils down to, did you get any loot rooms? Did you get the sacrifice or Varling or gem station? Yes or no? If you did, visit all those. If you want to kill the Omnitech, you can, although he doesn't feel super rewarding right now either. It's kind of like, did you get either of the two good sacrificial vials? Yes or no? Well, then you probably weren't. It wasn't worth killing him. So it's kind of just a roll of the dice. Sometimes he can drop some pretty cool vial items, but other than that, he doesn't seem to be too rewarding, which is a bit unfortunate. It would be cool to see like some chests, like maybe a Zyro style from Uberlab, behind him. That would be really cool and make it so you actually want to kill him. Anyway, that's the temple. Obviously, there's going to be a big guide about that. It's not out yet because it got delayed a little bit because there's just so much to learn about the temple. I was about ready to do it, make the video, and then I learned that you can get talismans from the jewelry room, which I didn't actually realize they were from there. I thought they were from the storage room, so I realized there's still a little bit more for me to learn, and I don't want to make a half-baked video with not all the information. So it got delayed a little bit. I'm going to do a lot more digging into and researching and asking people about all the rooms so I know exactly everything for you guys. Shadowcat. But in my opinion, the crown jewel of this league and the best feature is by far the double Vals and new Val implicits. These things are what makes the league for me and most of the people I've talked to. This is what people are getting really excited about, and this is what's going to keep people sticking around. So these essentially allow you to turn uniques into super uniques, obviously at a cost of like losing them and having a chance to lose them. So much so that they're actually better than some mirror tier items on standard. One that comes to mind is Piscator's Vigil. If you double Val that and get the right mods, it's pretty damn insane. It boosts it up massively. All of the Val implicits and mods on pretty much every single base are complete insanity. I'm going to make a video on how you can min-max that coming up. But yeah, that's what's really got me excited. I got a increased attack speed and area of effect Brightbeak, and that had me really excited. I was really stoked when I got that. So that's going to be fun. Trying to get double implicits on all of your gear is going to be super, super hard to get, but it's going to keep you sticking around and trying to use the mechanics of the league and all that stuff just that much more. So it's a fantastic league. I'd highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. In terms of content, we've got Bay Class coming up tonight and then probably a video, another video on top of this one, maybe the Varling one. But yeah, really a great league. It's been great. As you can see here, I'm playing my Autobomb in the background. That's been really fun. A lot of stuff still to do on that. It's in a pretty poor state currently, as you can see. But yeah, super, super fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed this update and my thoughts on Incursion so far. Make sure you get in the game if you haven't. It's a great league. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers. Thanks for watching as always.